Hi everyone, Lauren Culp here, publisher and CEO at CUInsight.com, and I am bringing you a 3-question video with a very familiar face. I'm joined today by Jim Nussle, the president and CEO of CUNA. Hi Jim, how are you?
Great to be with you, Lauren. I'm doing fine. I hope you are too.
Yes, I am. Thank you. We were talking before the video, and it sounds like Jim's in Madison too, so we're in the same town today. We'll have to.
That's right.
I'll wave as I drive by. Well, Jim, I'm going to go ahead and dive right in here. We know that these are really difficult times for so many people. I'm curious, what is CUNA doing to support credit unions and their members right now during this crisis?
Yeah, it's a good question. The thing that CUNA is focusing on right now, together with our league partners across the country, is we're probably doing 3 things. First and most importantly, we're doing advocacy, because so much of what the government is doing at the state and national level, whether it's this bill that was just passed with the new Paycheck Protection Program or the individual payments, so much of that requires financial services. And we all know that credit unions are the financial first responders on the front line, helping people address whether they're a small business or whether they're an individual, deal with the uncertainty of these times. And it could be a job loss. We've seen record numbers of unemployment. We've seen people just having to deal with the emergencies of whether it's COVID themselves. Many people who have experienced that in their families. So that's first and foremost, is advocacy. And second is just making sure that we're the connector when it comes to communications. We've put together a page on our website, so CUNA.org/COVID-19. And it's a place where CUNA and the leagues have deposited all the information. So it's a one-stop shop, if you will, for all the information having to do with COVID-19 as it affects credit unions. So first, advocacy. Second, communications. And then third is we have a new member benefit, which is a new credit union compliance management system. It's been put out into the marketplace because there's a lot of new compliance features the credit unions are having to deal with, as well as giving them information from an e-school standpoint. We put out a webinar on all the different strategies that credit unions can deal with when it comes to COVID-19. So that's a lot, but it's what we've come up with as the best way credit unions tell us that we can be helpful during this period of time.
That's amazing. I've seen the COVID-19 resource page on your website. It's very comprehensive. We'll link to that in the post here so that folks can get connected to that as well. So cool to hear about the e-school too. I think that that's very forward thinking in terms of getting people connected.
Sure.
Well, great. So Jim, thinking ahead, how do you think that this is going to affect credit unions and the way that we do business in the long run? I mean, so many things are changing.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's going to change everything. This is a game changer, probably akin to if you took 9/11 and you put it together with the Great Recession of 08 and 09, and then multiplied by 10. It seems to me it's both an economic challenge, it's a health challenge, it's a financial challenge. And when I spoke at the GAC, I tried to give a vision of the future of how credit unions can be relevant in the lives of their members. At that time, back in late February, before this crisis hit, there were 7 out of 10 people who didn't have the financial cushion of emergency savings, or were living at that time paycheck to paycheck. So you can imagine how that has been exacerbated by the challenges of COVID-19 going forward. So credit unions as the financial first responders, whether it's in a crisis, whether it's COVID-19 or a hurricane or some of the wildfires of California or the tornadoes we just had last night in Mississippi, we're often on the front line of those challenges to help people figure out how they're going to make ends meet the next week, the next day sometimes.
Right.
And that is only going to be more acute. So being that personal service, financial services representative to people on the front line is probably going to be the most important credit union thing that we can do going forward. And that's something that other financial services, as you know well, Lauren, can't do or don't do as well, because they don't know their member consumers the way we do.
That is so true. Well, and there are so many healthcare heroes that we think about and and the credit union folks who are really on the front lines too. We can't forget about all of the folks who are really, really out there making sure that people are staying connected, staying secure, able to access
Well, and
finance.
as you know too, I mean, credit unions have been very creative in the way they have reached out to serve their people and their communities. There are some credit unions. I have so many examples. I won't give them all, but I mean, some that are donating masks, some that are organizing blood drives, some that are contributing to local nonprofit charities and food banks at a time
Right.
when people are stretched thin. But in addition to that, they're also coming up with waiving fees and skip a payment and working out mortgages and other loan products. So credit unions are doing this in a very creative way, hand to hand sort of way that really no other financial institution is able to do.
It's so cool to see that credit union mission really coming to life, especially now of all times. Well, Jim, my last question for you, the third of three here, is how are you doing personally? What's keeping you sane, or are you sane during these challenging times?
Well, I'm not sane. I mean, how could anybody be during all of this? We're doing things that we never thought we would ever have to do. They've never crossed our mind. No, I'm sane. Karen and I are safe. We have been healthy, and thankfully my family has been healthy. We've been practicing social distancing, which I'm really good at. I tend to be an introvert. My wife Karen is a complete opposite extrovert, so she's been under a little bit more stress, I would have to say, than I have. And I'm sure all of you can relate to that. You know somebody who thrives on being able to just read a book, or like for me, I play guitar, so music has been my kind of therapy behind the scenes. But not everybody thrives on being alone. And even us introverts need a little bit of outside time and people time. So we've done family Zooms, and we've done all of those things that I think probably everybody did. We did both sides of my family and Karen's family in an Easter Zoom yesterday that they were hilarious, but a lot of fun too, and meaningful, I know, to my folks who I know are missing the grandkids. So.
Right. Well, so great to hear that you're able to stay connected to family and stay sane so far. Our condolences to Karen. Hopefully,
Yeah, right?
she's able to get good people
Well,
to.
she's got to live with me. That's the ultimate in penalty box, if you will. So.
Oh, too funny. Well, Jim, any last thoughts that you would like to share with our audience today?
Just that, this requires a lot of patience, and whether it's patience in the government programs that are being rolled out, like the new small business loan program, or just patience with a spouse or a child, or patience becoming, a new teacher from home, or trying to operate your business from home, and patience in just writing this out. We have got to stay safe, stay apart for a period of time. But it's gonna mean a lot when it comes to us being able to rebound and get back in business. So hang in there, everybody, and we'll use those cooperative superpowers together sometime, I know, very, very soon.
Great. Perfect final words to end this video on. Jim, thank you so much for your time. Again, everyone, we're going to link to CUNA's resource page for COVID-19 here in the post so that you can stay connected to all of the great resources that they have. Jim, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Lauren. Same to you.
Thanks. Take care.